Right, folks, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you join this live broadcast. My name is Yasa Suba, and I'm bringing forth this live broadcast from the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. Today, MICA's regular press briefing will play host to Honorable Mohammed Ali, Managing Director of Liberia Water and Soil Corporation, who will speak on progress made by the Liberia Water and Soil Corporation. Well, we're now joined Director Family, who's the Director for Press here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism.
Thank you. Distinguished police, I bring you greetings on behalf of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. We'd like to thank you all for coming and our guests. I'd like to invite the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Jawalime Mabukia, who will make his introductory comments, after which he will officially introduce to you our guests. Thank you.
So let me welcome all of you in at the Charles William Press Hall here at the Ministry of Information. We have two important guests here today that will speak to you after we've done some clearinghouse and spoken to a few issues. We have Mo Ali, who is the Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. His presence here is an opportunity for you to know what is happening in that entity, what they've been doing over the past few weeks since he and his management team took over. Also here is Mr. Notu Jaffa. Notu is with the National Insurance Company of Liberia, one of the different entities that, nearly collapsed. I'm sure he's going to say to you what is happening there now and what the plans are by he and his team to make that place work again. But before we do that, let me just speak to a few issues. The team of Liberian government officials will be in the United States during the coming weekend. And the goal is to attend the U.S. Africa Business Summit 2024. The summit will be held under the theme U.S. Africa Business, Partnering for Sustainable Success. The summit will bring together about 1,500 U.S. and African public and private sector business executives, including heads of state, international investors, U.S. and African government officials, and some multilateral stakeholders. The objective of the summit is to enable leaders to connect with government and private sector decision makers over the course of 4 days. The U.S. Africa Business Summit will be held under the theme U.S. Africa Business, Partnering for sustainable development. The government of Liberia were represented by a number of officials, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Commerce, the Minister of Agriculture, Mines and Mines, the National Investment Commission, the Liberia Electricity Corporation, Ministry of Information, the Liberia Telecommunication LTC, and we have Representative Ministerial Cooper, who will also join the delegation to the United States. We wanted to talk a little bit about something that is creeping and causing a lot of problems for our country. You will notice every time I come here, I talk about our behavior as a people. We crave for investors, we crave for jobs. So there's no job in the country. Of course, government will not employ everybody in the country, you have to attract investors. But the way we carry on as a people can also drive away investors. Every now and then, there's some violence somewhere. And the more we caution people to stay away their peers, the more it happens. To the extent that even sports that is meant to unite us is also a basis for conflict and violence. The government is appalled by what took place at the Samuel Kanye Sports Stadium yesterday. That people will go on the rampage, destroying properties, threatening lives, wounding people, just for a sporting event. It's sad indeed. And what the government is committed to do is to ensure, as a means of deterrence, that those who are responsible for what took place will be dealt with to the full extent of the law. Because this must stop. Even if you are playing a sporting event and you feel cheated, are there now other ways to seek redress other than violence? When do we change this kind of conduct and attitude? The SKB Sports Complex that we're talking about has been wanting. That stadium was banned by FIFA. Interventions have been made to restore some of the facilities for which the place was banned. And we can't just over dispute of how fair or unfair a football game is, and we go after some of the very things and destroy them. When do we stop this? And we are glad to note that the RFA took an action against the referee whose action led to the violence. While we condemn the violence and will not fall short of ensuring that those who are responsible are brought to justice, we want to call on the football governing body to pay some attention to the kinds of individuals they recruit to handle these sporting events. The fact that they have expelled the referee in question is a confirmation that they believe he proceeded wrongly, that he did something wrong. But imagine the kind of situation he was causing for our country, that his singular action led to what we all witnessed at the stadium. So we believe that it is not sufficient to just declare him expelled as a referee. We think they should go a step further. And we want to caution all those who are involved in these sporting events. Fairness is the key. If people are declared winners of these competitions, let them win on the basis of their merit, not by clandestine criminal activities. That's not sports. Especially if we want to use force to unify our people. We are told that this referee has a bad record, that this is not the first time He's been a subject of investigation many times. Why would we even choose to have him as the empire for a game between two countries that we know would have been tense? And he wasn't even conscious of that. So we take seriously what happened at the game, and those responsible will have to account for their action. Over the last 6 years, things happened here, and the memories are still fresh. But as a government, while at the same time trying to hold people accountable, we decided to be forward thinking because Liberia has to move forward. But sometimes we are forced to reflect on the past based on some of the things we hear around. We've been reading through the papers, hearing about people giving President Waka and the UP government stern warning. Those are a recipe for chaos. And all these reckless and loose thoughts they are flying all around the place. And this is constraining us to start to think, well, who are those saying these things? The president suspends a group of people at the LTA. And some of the bad apples of the past come and say, GSC, even though the president has asked you to do an audit of this entity, don't follow the president's mandate. Who are you? Does the GSC or the Auditor General work for you? Don't you know that we have left that past where auditors in discharge of their duties had to have their lives taken away? Have you forgotten how many integrity icons, individuals who were trying to hold people accountable for their excesses in government? Have you forgotten how many of them under your stewardship lost their lives? When did you become an advocate for the people? And just yesterday you held them in Egypt. You ran this country like you were running your private farm. Today you leave the hard places where you were either controller general or whatever title you were. You retreated to the closet of your party headquarters, and all you do is to create a picture of chaos and despair and everything across the country. And you want to be instructing institutions established by law to hold people accountable to not do their work. From whence did you get your authority? Is the GSC working at your pleasure and will? When you were here yesterday, could somebody tell the GSC not to do what it's supposed to do? So the memories are still fresh as to the harm you caused this country. And you have no moral voice to wrangle in our ears. Just sit down a little bit and put yourself together. We know that some of you can strive in chaos. So the level of normalcy that is around here is not pleasing to you. You wish this land once more will become chaotic. But the government is in charge. And all your gimmicks will go nowhere. And by the way, the people know who you are. Some of you still have questions to answer. Over the last 6 years, some things that we've not seen for years happened here. I don't remember when our public officials were just sanctioned in drove, like leading some cattle to the slaughterhouse being slaughtered. You haven't cleared your name. You haven't even cleared your name. And you want to be a false policeman? To the extent that if there's nothing to talk, you're talking. Again, the memories are fresh. And the people have not forgotten. They know you, and they know your deeds. There's a situation in Patawi. Many of you in the media, you heard that. It's a touristic site, so it's of interest to us. But whatever is happening at Patawi, the entity that is directly involved is the EPA because they signed the memorandum of understanding with the group that is managing the place. Notwithstanding, the government delegation was sent to Patawi today to know what is happening. MICAT is on that delegation. Our Assistant Director for Tourism, James Patmo, is with the team, which is headed by the Director of EPA, and they are trying to make some intervention to see what has happened there so that they can bring some solution to it. We are approaching the end of the 100-day deliverables. A number of things will be rolled out. Here at the ministry, you will see the relaunch of the new Liberia newspaper. We will do so, the paper will come out twice every week. We're also launching, as of the end of the deliverable, a new Liberia magazine. A magazine will be produced quarterly, but the first edition is coming out at the end of the 100-day deliverable, and they will take stock of everything that has happened. But at the end of the era of the 100-day deliverables, we will start by having the President, His Excellency Joseph Waka Senior, address the nation. And that will happen this week. The details of that will come from the office of the Press Secretary. Also this week, the President will take action on the resolution from the National Legislature about the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Court. The details of that, the specific date, will be communicated to you by the Office of the Press Secretary. Today, the government launched a revised government of Liberia policy on consultancy. In the last 6 years, one of the places that were treated like a pepper bush was that area of consultancy. And many of you saw what happened. Artists, football players, family members were deployed all across government as consultants. A lot of them making huge salaries. Money that those who are actually working could not get. The government's expenditure on consultancy the last year, just the last year alone, was 6 million. When the CSA came, they told you that when they open their files, when you give somebody consultancy, you must see the term of reference for the consultancy. You must see a contract between the entity and the person who's consulting. You must also see reports of the consultant services. None of these things existed, but they had consultancy. The revised plan will allow us to do consultancy on these basis. That when you are chosen as a consultant is consistent with certain professional services that you must render to those entities. That's what the revised policy is about. But not only that, unlike the last year of the past administration where 6 million was spent on consultancy, the first expenditure of this new government on consultants will be around 2 million. And when we choose people as consultants, it will be consistent with the new policy. They will be bringing to the entity that they will be consulting at skill sets that are not already formed in those entities. And that's what makes the new consultancy policy very important to us. You know the House of Representatives have already passed the draft national budget that was sent by the executive. It's in the sum of about 738.8 million. I know it goes to the Senate. Our information is that it will be passed upon by the Senate, and sooner or later we have our budget. So the 100 days we've been talking about, 100 days deliverable, 100 days deliverable, the government executed those deliverables without the national budget being passed. That is why, as we'll be releasing the results of the 100 days, we'll be pleased because we did what we had to do in the absence of money. And I've always said to you all that here at the Ministry of Information, we have not spent a dime for government money. But all of you are aware that when we started, this is not what the conference room you sit in was like. We didn't have to wait for government money to do some transformative things. We started our process of transformation. Today, the entire rule of the game was assessed because there are folks who are willing to make some intervention. Sooner or later, you see root work taking place. Me and my team are here determined to change the situation here. My brother who was just with me, they already entered the honor trouble project, going to them say you're employed people, so you're asking whether to buy that kind of news. They know. They won't work here, they say, that's a Liberia. Who want to work in Liberia? The only people with mindset that want to work in a place will be transformative and innovative people. Because they're coming to transform, they're coming to change, they're not looking for money. Today at the JFK, something important happened. And we need to pay attention. Cancer cases are on the rise in Liberia, particularly among women. Too many patients. The JFK took a major step by opening an oncology unit today. Oncologists are those who study and treat cancer. As a country, the entire country will have only one Liberian doctor who is an oncologist. One. And with the rising cases of cancer, we need to do more as a country and as a government to train more people to be able to pay attention to the sick who are dying from cancer. We want to thank the JFK management and in particular the only oncologist, Dr. Deresupo, who's going to run the oncology unit, who's been the only doctor taking care of all of the sick people who are sick from cancer. We believe the action today at the JFK is a major step in the right direction, and it will help us care for those who are troubled by the terrible disease called cancer. Having made these few comments, I'd like to invite the Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mr. Mohammed Ali, who will now speak.
Well, folks, you just listened to the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Jeremy Pia, who spoke about progress being made by the government of Liberia, and he also talked about the 100 days deliverable. Well, we now joined the Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewer, Honorable Mohammed Ali, who will speak on progress made by the Liberia Water and Sewer on the 100 days deliverable.
I'm also happy to see my colleagues from the National Insurance Company. We assumed authority of the Liberian Water and Sewer Corporation on February 27, 2024. On March 14, we were joined by 4 deputy managing directors and our board, the board of directors, which comprises 9 persons. Like many other government entities, the LWSC we inherited had a lot of problems, plethora of problems, starting with overstaffing of the entity. Between 2023 April to December 2023, the workforce of the LWSC grew from 375 to 669, with 124 persons employed on one day, April 1, 2023. It will also interest you to know that out of the 669 employees, with a monthly wage bill of at least 375,000, while the entity at the time was generating just 100,000 a month. 94 of those employees are ME experts with just high school diplomas. ME experts with just high school diplomas. The liabilities we inherited is around $7 million. Staff arrears ranging from 7 to 9 months. The pensioners arrears, we inherited an entity that owed them 29 months. Local vendors, 1 million. Social Security withholding contributions, 1 million. We also inherited our own debt outside there. People, entities, and I'm going to say including government ministries and agencies, companies and businesses owe the LWSC in revenue of over $6 million. And per our calculation, businesses, companies, and government entities owe around 4 million of that $6 million. Central Morovia has been without water supply for God knows how long, for two cardinal reasons, or three. Number one, there is an infrequent supply of electricity, or there was an infrequent supply of electricity to the White Plains water treatment plant. Number two, the insufficiency of supply of water treatment chemicals. And also, Central Morovia is an elevated terrain. In order to pump water to reach the city center, it means that White Plain has to operate 24 hours pumping water. Then you will have the necessary pressure generated to push water up to Central Morovia. In the absence of that, LWSC has a facility of Duko reservoir that has a capacity of 1 million gallons. That 1 million gallon reservoir has been down since 2018, the middle part of 2018, because a leakage was detected there. It should be renovated for around a cost of 41,000, and since then it was never ever renovated. The sewage spillage in Central Morovia is another problem that we inherited. This is due to several factors. Number one, people have seen the need to use the sewer line as dump site, so they put all of the garbage there. Number two, over the last 6 years, our sewer line was never cleaned, they were never declogged, and they were never rot. So it gets clogged everywhere to the extent that the collection of sewage from all over did not have the chance to flow through. So as a result, they burst up the manhole and spilled into the streets. The other factor there is business people, those that are involved in scrap metal dealing. These people go deliberately and purchase the cover of the sewer manhole for scrap dealing. We ask them to desist. So generally, the population was not receiving the kind of services they should receive from water and sewer. We have two stand-alone water supply facilities. One in Soap Clinic that was converted to supplying just the G5 company. G5 is a company that bought Coca-Cola factory and few other customers that the past administration had interest in. And there is a stand-alone in New Georgia which has been out of service for over 2 years. We have 6 outstation facilities in Ravenscourt, Kakata, Sanikole, Buchanan, and Zwedru, Vonjama included. 3 of those stations are functional, the one in Ravenscourt, Sanikole, and Vonjama. The one in Zwedru has been out of service since 2019. The one in Kakata and Buchanan have been out of service since 2022. The interesting thing is, even though those outstations are not functional, we still saw the need in the past to employ people and deploy them there, thereby unnecessarily increasing the wage bill of the entity. Also, because they are not functional, citizens saw the need to just vandalize some of them, like in Buchanan. They stole the pump heads, they destroyed the kiosks, they looted the cables from the generators to the treatment facilities. In order to get Buchanan back and functional, it will take us 300,000 US dollars. Zwedru will require 250,000, while Kakata require 90,000. Currently, we are in discussion with several companies that have expressed interest in participating in our water supply system. Just today, we had a discussion with the NIC boss, with a company that has expressed interest in Kakata, Buchanan, and Anta. So this week, we'll conduct an assessment on Buchanan. We know what level of services they want to provide. We'll sign a contract with them for the restoration of water supply in Buchanan. Debt recovery. Over the last week, we embarked on a massive disconnection exercise. Some of the companies that owe us huge sum, we are disconnecting them. And I'd like to name one particular one. China Union, for example, owes the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation more than 26,000 US dollars and they refuse to pay. We've disconnected their line and will continue to press on them to pay. Some of the other companies and businesses that owe us huge money, we disconnected them, blocked their sewer line. They've started paying. Private individuals started paying. Mr. Minister, in the next week, we will embark on disconnecting government entities that owe us. And we'll also place focus on government officials, current and past, members of the legislature who owe us huge money. We disconnect everybody. Mr. Minister, I intend to discuss that with you. We will disconnect them and we will not hesitate. So I'm saying this today. I wanted to say it to the public first so that we don't disconnect people from the past and you say, oh, it's a wish fund. The wish fund now is for you to pay our money. You are wish funding the LWSC. If you don't pay, we will wish fund you. So some of the successes in the last 3 weeks, we completed the total repair of the 1 million gallon reservoir up Duko. And we are in discussion with the Liberia Electricity Corporation to stabilize the electricity supply so that our booster station on Nipo Street can pump water to the reservoir. So in the next 2 weeks, at most, will begin testing water supply to Central Monrovia. In the next 2 weeks, the repair of the reservoir that could not be repaired for over 5 years has been done for a cost of 41,000 US dollars. We have resumed water supply to most of the communities that were connected previously, and we have begun running the White Plain water treatment plant 7 days a week. Previously, White Plain water treatment plant was running 3 times a week. That's why you were observing the frequent breakage in water supply. We also resumed water supply to Tinker Village, extending up to Rock Hill Church, and that is being made possible by utilizing the 1 million gallon reservoir that was constructed in Rock Hill around the GSA area in Pinsville. We started releasing water from that facility, which is enough to supply our people. We've also resumed water supply to communities ranging from St. Paul Bridge through the Barnesville area. Now, there are certain customers who were connected before that are not getting our water, and this is primarily due to the destruction of our pipes by companies that are constructing roads, community roads, and major roads. In some of these communities, we've sent our team to begin replacing those pipes. And like the minister said, we are doing all of these things without a single cent from the government, not a single cent we receive from government. We are doing this work thanks to the increase in our revenue collection. The sewage spill in Monrovia on Sunday, this one Sunday, we started declogging and rodding the sewage line. So the rodding is cleaning. It's a special equipment that is used from the sewer truck to clear the dirt from the line. So we want to caution the public. There are places we'll be working, we'll cordon off, so it will cause some inconvenience in movement for motorists. You have to bear with us because we need to clear the streets. We'll be doing so on all of the major streets that have this problem. And when we're ready to work, we'll block the place, car will not pass, motorbike will not pass before we need total access to those sewer lines. Recently, we commissioned trucks that were purchased for a total cost of 891,000. 5 trucks, 3 water trucks, and 2 sewer trucks. Each of the water truck costs 151,200. While the sewer truck one costs 218,700. This has raised serious eyebrows in the public, and there are some speculations that some of these trucks will cost as less as 41, 50, 70,000. But in order to know what went wrong, if there were anything that went wrong, we have asked the GAC to conduct a comprehensive audit in the workings of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation over the last 3 years, from 2021 January to December 31st, 2023. That audit has started and the results will be made public. And we should say we are underwriting the cost of the audit because we want the public to know exactly what's happening. The stand-alone station at So Clinic, we have managed to reconnect the community, and those that are connected to the lines have started receiving water supply once they are in good standing with the LWSC. If you pay your bill, will not give you water. We're clear about that. New Georgia on Saturday will resume work there to put that station back on track. We also started working Kakata, and they are now testing the transmission mean once we do not observe any leakage, we resume water supply there. Unfortunately, also, the road construction work there destroys some of our pipes. We are replacing them. And then encroachment on our facilities. Otonsiwa has a lot of facilities. We have lift stations all over the state to lift the sewage from where they are generated to the main station in Fiamen. In Douala, we have market people constructed on the lift station. We have our major lift station in Syrian Town. Somebody deliberately constructed a store on it. Our facility in Fiama, the community is encroaching on the land. So we will initiate discussion with the Ministry of Public Works and the Land Authority to ensure that structures that have been built on our lift stations and the land can be demolished. At the moment, our employees are totally upbeat. They are beginning to receive their salaries on time, and that is making them happy to work. Our billing system when we took over was far behind. When I took over in February, they were billing customers for December, and no customer will feel happy to pay if they are not getting the services. They were also not receiving the services. But if I am a customer and you don't bring my bill, I feel happy because then it means that I'm using free services. We have updated that system, and customers are now receiving their bills in time. If you just pay your water bill on time, some monthly water bill are $5, some $10, $14. Those who are on flat rate is a little higher. The requested for it is $30, $33 in total. So, moving forward, we will now only connect people through meter because we don't want problems. If people are interested in getting connected, individuals and businesses, simply go to the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation headquarters and register your entity or your family home. Then you begin to do the assessment and will restore water supply to your houses. Do not register with anybody in the street. Anybody you give money to in the street, they say I'm working with water and sewer, even if they show you ID card, they're eating our money free and you will hold yourself responsible. Because there are individuals who go and collect money from customers. Also, don't pay your bill to any individuals. You can carry to the banks. EcoBank, LBDR, pay your bills there, or go pay your bill to our outstations or to the headquarters. You can pay to Fiaman, you can pay to Kawaru, you can pay to the headquarters on Front Street. So Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation is on the up, and we will continue to strive to provide you the best service. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
So, folks, you just listened to the voice of Honorable Mohammed Ali, who spoke about water and sewer. The GSC is conducting an audit, and it will be published for the public to know about all of the happenings there at the water and sewer. And also, they are now testing all of their equipment to see how best their customer can have the best service. They are also appealing to their customers to go and register to the head office, and you shouldn't pay your money to anyone on the street because it's not safe for you. Well, we now join the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Jeremy Pia.
Citation or invitation. We encourage many of you members of the press to go there Now, currently, everything is very politics. It's a very serious commitment meant to impact people political aspect. But sometimes we don't listen to the politics much. We just work and move towards the result. So come there tomorrow and you will know exactly what is happening. I've always said, except we have by election, it's only 6 years from now we have elections. When that time comes, bring the politics and we all meet at the square. But for now, let's govern. And some of the attempts to take our focus away from governance to politics will not work because we're going to send the interim better. So now I invite the managing director of the National Insurance Company of Liberia, Mr. Dr.
So, folks, we now join the Managing Director of the National Insurance Company of Liberia, Honorable Nato Java.
Good afternoon. I think this is my second press information. I can remember when I was the MD at LWSC, more. I was senior at LWSC. When I was the MD, I came here, and at that time we had the first briefing downstairs, up in the lobby. That was maybe about 12 years ago. So we know the terrain. But I'm happy to be here and happy to have in the audience my Deputy of Administration, Abdullah Soiree, and my board chair, Joseph Stanu Mohammed. So let's get started. The team was appointed on February 20th, 2024. We effectively started work on the 26th of February. Like most government agencies, people met problems. So NICO was not exempted for that. As you all know, NICO was founded in 1984 by PRC Decree 81. That decree gives NICO the exclusive power or right to insure all government assets, tangible or intangible. They also gave Michael the responsibility to do commercial business. So not only government assets, but if you have your car, your trucks, just like I said, if you go to ICA or you go to Activa or Suno, Michael does the same work to those companies. Michael, when NICO was founded, NICO was once a very, very practical organization. Over the years, NICO has been neglected, and we're asked by the president, Joseph Waka, to come and have NICO do what it's supposed to do. When we took over, we met 38 employees, 17 civil servants, and 21 in-house employees. What that means is 17 civil servants, they receive government pay through the civil service bureau. I do. The other 21 receive their salaries or benefits from what NICO generate in-house. At least the in-house contractors or employees were over 2 months of salaries, unlike other mentioned agencies. However, today, as of now, no one at NICO, at least those 21 employees, at all salaries as of now. Some of those employees, at least all of them, did not have health insurance or life insurance. I find it strange because if you sell insurance out there, at least they say, well, the good thing starts at your house. if you not give insurance to your employee and you're going out to LEC or NPA to sell insurance, they will ask you, do you have insurance at your place of work? No. So as of now, all our employees, all civil servants, all contractors are now enrolled in our medical and our life insurance policies at no cost to those employees, but at cost to NICO. NICO has had problems in the past. It was not recognized by the Central Bank of Liberia, which regulated the insurance market. As a result, they were not licensed to do business. But because it's a government business, or it was passed by a government act, Central Bank had to work with them. But as of now, at least in the first 30 days since we took over, NICO have been issued a license by the Central Bank of Liberia. So that is a very, very big step, because without a license, most of the some of the state of enterprises or private companies will not do business with you, because if you don't have a license, you don't have a reinsurer to reinsure your policies. So we do not have a license issued by the Central Bank of Liberia. We have two deputy managing directors that was appointed by the president. One not by the president of the MD, but two deputy managing directors were submitted to the board in our first board meeting, and they were unanimously approved to take on the positions of deputy for administration and for insurance services. Michael Bull, the board of directors, have been fully constituted by the president. That gives a lot of, or take the ease or pressure off the market, because if the market is going to work with Michael, they need to make sure that they have a board of directors, some governance structures in place. So one of the conditions that Central Bank of Liberia gave Michael in order for them to get a license was to make sure that we have our board of directors, our full management, we have a reinsurance license, which we do have now, the Standard Reinsurance Commission in Accra, Ghana, and Africa Re in Abuja, Nigeria. We wanted to have these things on board before they would issue us license. So within a span of 30 to 45 days, we're able to achieve all those. One important thing that I would like to mention also is they also requested that we do an audit by the Central Bank of all transactions from 2018 up to 2023. We've communicated with the General Auditing Commission. They replied and committed to have that full-scale audit commence in July of 2024. As you all know, the GSC is very, very busy with all these specialized audit as commission as requested by the President of the legislature. So they are committed only so that come July 2024, they will commission the audit as requested by NICO. So that's very, very key. I don't know whether you all have seen NICO offices. The office is somewhere on Buchanan and Ashland Street, or Front Street, just about there. The potential and the mindset that we have for NICO does not warrant us staying in where we are right now. Our board has given us the approval to a board resolution to relocate our offices. We hope to relocate before the end of May. If you all know the MP House, somewhere in Town, just around the, I think Bedford Church, if I'm correct, opposite the Single Palace Hotel, we should be moving up there in the month of May, just around there, on third floor. So in that sense, NICO have better visibility. It shows that NICO is back and we are out of business. So when that office is about to be open, I'm sure members of the press will be invited to come here. Also, what we've done is when came up with no policies. In writing insurance policy, there should have policies that warrant those policies on the right. Thinking that's part of the whole governance structure that we're trying to put in place. So we have a new HR policy that is being almost 90% complete. We also have insurance, a technical manual that will guide our underwriters on how to write policies and the rules regarding those policies. And our accounting manual is also being formulated. When we got NICO, everything was manual. I'm an accountant by profession as well. So using Excel spreadsheet to do your balance sheet or to create your income statement or your statement of cash flow, that's a problem. Our board are giving us the structure to put in place an ERP system, because we are working right now, that will capture our accounting, finance, HR, underwriting, claims, timekeeping system. So just by the click of a mouse, you should be able to know exactly what's happening at NICO. So that's some of the reforms that is being carried out at NICO. We also work with the government of Liberia for capitalization. Again, that was one of the key issues that the Central Bank of Liberia raised. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of State, have committed to recapitalize NICO during this budget period. When you ask for $5, sometimes you get $3 or $2. So that is the scenario we're working on. We ask for the minimum capital requirement as required by the central bank for insurance companies, and the government and the legislature have committed to the Central Bank of Liberia that NICO will be committed as much as possible according to the Central Bank guidelines. So we are looking forward to that. I know the lower house passed that portion of the budget yesterday, now to the Senate, and we're looking forward to having that pass and have a good portion there for NICO to cover our claims in this fiscal year. We are working with other technology companies to make our claims far better. Negotiations are still going on, and we hope that in the coming weeks or so, we'll get this all sorted out. In that way, all the claims can be properly scrutinized, it can be electronic, and can keep our eyes out there to prevent fraud and abuse. Also, we are working with a few SMEs. We have an agreement principle with the National Port Authority, which will be very huge for NICO to provide them, after 6 or 7 years, their first health and life insurance. I cannot disclose the figures in this public manner, but with that being sealed in the coming days or so, that will definitely help NICO in a recapitalization process. So there's a simple doodle. If you're watching it, we look forward to concluding this transaction probably by early next week. So we give thanks to the NPA. We work with some some other SOEs, LEC, Liberia Energy, Electricity, Regulatory Commission, the Road Fund, Maritime, where NICO, being the government state-owned insurance company with the capacity that we have now to have them sign on to NICO as policy holders. However, not only SOEs, we do have some private ventures, companies, multinationals that are here that we're working with, and we have already signed up. We'll keep an eye though, we're cash strapped. Like I said, we've done our best. We can boast today to say that we have money to pay at least 3 or 4 months of our employee salaries, maybe more for now. So we are doing very, very well at Michael with the new management. And thank my colleagues. We hope that we can project by the end of the year, especially with the pace that we are moving, at least gross revenues of between $4 to $5 million before by December 31st, 2024. We know it's not going to be easy, but we've been moving aggressively with our marketing team. We've been teaming up with people from outside the country to work on some of the policies for the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branches of government. We'll be offering some specialized insurance policies for they and their families. So we're not just sitting and working within the confines of the world of Liberia. We're also working with people outside Liberia and forming that relationship. Most recently, I was in Gambia for the West Africa Insurance Companies Association, WICA, annual conference. And at that conference, I agreed to have NICO be on the board of governors, the West Africa Insurance Institute. If you all know, in the 80s, the West Africa Insurance Institute was somewhere in Rotterdam. It's where all young people who actually insurance professionals were trained and were certificated or given diplomas. But when still working, they were relocated to Gambia. They have a campus. I was there, I visited the campus. They have 2 libraries currently in this cycle of December. And we're happy to be insurance professionals or future insurance professionals in Liberia, what I do. So becoming a member on the board of governors of West Africa Insurance Institute, that says a lot. That says that the current management have presented a case to tell our counterparts in West Africa that we are back on the block and we're ready for business. So in the coming days, a communication will be sent to the Insurance Association of Liberia, and then officially, I think for the next quarter, the third quarter, the second quarter, sorry, thereabouts, Liberia will be a member on that board. What does that mean? We will regulate enrollment, admissions of students, work on budgets for the YE, the Insurance Institute, work on the welfare of students and staff, and the various administrative and budgetary issues. So that is a very, very big deal. If you guys notice, for example, Liberia Maritime Authority is on the board of governors of the Maritime Academy in Regional Maritime Academy in Accra, Ghana. So that's very, very big thing for us. We've also been working with some reinsurance. So while I was away from Gambia, I spent 2 days in Ghana and in reinsurance. Like I said, Ghana Re is one of the biggest in West Africa and on the continent. They have offices in office in Ghana, Cameroon, Morocco, Kenya, and things Zimbabwe. You can go on the website and check out all their gross revenues for the year 2023. They have agreed with us they have agreed to partner with us to give us human capacity support. So next week, Monday, they will be in town and will conduct a free, I will repeat, FREE, reinsurance classes for only 1 week at Boulevard Hotel, not only for NICO, but for the insurance market. So I think we will be sending in a few people from our institution to do the workshop. But they have also agreed that they want to work with us so that they can organize specialized training or TDYs for our staff that might go to Ghana for 1 month, 2 months to go ahead and do training and come back to Liberia. So at this time, I'm just giving a note that talk more than 3 minutes. So I will leave the floor to the minister. Thank you very much for your time. And I will share my card if you have any questions after this. You want to Thank you.
So, folks, you just listened to the managing director of the National Insurance Company of Liberia, Honorable Notu Java, who spoke about progress made on the 100 days deliverable and also talked about some trending issues about the National Insurance Company. Well, folks will now join the other folks here for the questions and answer.
Maurice Waleti, and I report for OKFM. Let me use this public medium. I know this same media was used last week to thank Minister Pia for your intervention regarding our colleague who was ill last week. Want to appreciate you for that. But on the flip side of it, week before last, you promised to respond to a question I was asked regarding the gentleman that was appointed as ambassador at large at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They were concerned that he's an alien, but there are other people who are saying that he's a Liberian. Can you please clarify that? And to the managing director of LWSC, Mr. Ali, thank you for your deliberation. We've been seeing some of the trucks you talk about, but my concern is I read some part of the 100 days deliverable of the president, and I saw that they said the government said they were going to clean some of the drainages and other sewage line in central Morovia, and you say it started since Sunday. Can you assure us, because I think the 100 days will be coming to an end tomorrow, and we got a few hours of that. Can you clarify or tell us whether you will achieve that in making sure that all of the sewage lines and drainages are clean? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Shakespeare says Ziambo, and I report for Jet TV Liberia Online, Afro Zealand West website. My question goes to Mr. Moali. You explained very well about uh, your workings at the LWSC, but my main question here is I want to know what new ideas you bringing on board in terms of giving water supply to Monrovia and its environs? Because I live in the slum of Dole community and I know the kind of problems the people in that community face when it comes to water supply. People walk more than 2, 3 miles, kids to get safe drinking water for their parents. I want to know what new ideas are you bringing in to making sure that people in Monrovia and its environment get safe drinking water, and the sewage system in our city, their oozing is very bad. How can you curtail this kind of a problem? And to our brother from the NACO, You talk about NACO being a ghost town. Uh, People are not interested in doing the insurance business with the government-owned insurance company. I want to know what are your own workings in making that place of attraction in terms of people doing insurance business with the National Insurance Company of Liberia? Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Mpulu and I report for Skyfin. My question go to Mr. Ali. Um, Mr. Ali, from the outset of the conversation, you mentioned that one of the reasons for which water was not being applied in Central Monrovia was due to electricity problem. But then you mentioned that your administration will soon be supplying water in Central Monrovia. Is it like we get stable electricity now? That's one. And you said since you started your job, government has not giving you money. For transparency, Ms. Ali, where are you getting money? Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. My question go to the water and sewer boss. Mr. Ali, I want to ask you, what will you do about us that living up Capitol Hill that is so rocky? We they want supplying water or whatever by gallon, and we don't have quite water. What can you do about that?
Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Good evening, good afternoon, better still to everyone. My name is Desmond Wayon and I report for Liberia News Network and Injure TV. My concern goes to the director of the Water and Sewer, Mr. Moali. On April 19, you posted on your Facebook page a list of people or a list of customers who are indebted to the water and sewer. And in the spirit of investigative journalism, there is a good company or a customer here called the Redemption Mirror Water. And your statistical report proves that indeed they are indebted in the tune of $3,266.44. And I've done follow up to that company and I spoke with the official spokesperson of the Redemption Mineral Water. They said some of these reports are, as per their record, are inaccurate. Apparently, they said he might have gotten this maybe from your predecessors. Better still, I think they recommended that you need to get back to your predecessors to give you all of these factual reports about some of these companies that posted saying that they are indebted a huge sum of money. So the question is, where are we now with this report? All of the customers in the tune of 19 persons or 19 companies you posted, are they in compliance now? Or better still, where are we in terms of those of who have complied? And how many persons remaining? And lastly, to the Minister of Information, last week you said that's the ship the ship that came to Liberia, they completed a mission. That was said by you. But prior to that, we also read on the official Facebook page of the Ministry of Information and that of the MCC as well, that the ship was intended to, all of those 110 tourists that came to Liberia were intended to visit some of these major historic sites such as the Providence Island, the Centennial Pavilion, the Echo Lodge in Mangibi. But on the contrary, we only saw photographs of those tourists at under the PHP Park. Do you care to tell us exactly if you have posted that indeed they were to visit Echo Lodge, what have been the reason they have not visited Echo Lodge, or if they have visited Echo Lodge, why was it that we couldn't see any photo of such on your official website? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is O'Neill Phillips. I write for the New Liberia newspaper. I have one question for the water and sewer boss. Ms. Ali, you praise that you are doing well since you took over at the water and sewer. The question is, can you tell us in the short term how much you have generated through revenue from government? And is your corporation going to contribute to government national budget this year? And my question two is for the NACO boss, Mr. Jaka. NACO almost seems like a non-existing insurance company. hearing about you talking about that whole year. Just a little snapshot we see on Facebook, people dancing, or you are not there. But can you tell us, is a premium lower than the other insurance company? Thank you.
So, folks, for your question raised by the journalist, we now turn to Honorable Mohammed Ali to respond to that.
Thank you. So the first question was on the drainage line in Central Monrovia as to whether we will achieve that. Yes, we've started and we will achieve it, and it is an ongoing event, cleaning up our sewage line. But if your question is, we'll do it before the 100-day ends, that is no. Now we need to clarify something. When we say this is a 100-day deliverable, 100-day plan, doesn't necessarily mean that everything will be achieved within the first 100 days. What it means, from my own understanding, is that that process, that particular action will start within the first 100-day period. There are certain things you just cannot do within the first 100 days, but at least the activities will start. One new idea I am bringing on board to restore water supply to Central Monrovia, we've already said it. Initially, I said one way you can get water supply to Central Monrovia is to have 24-hour power supply to White Plain. Like that, it is going to pump sufficient water and the lines will be charged, and that will generate the necessary pressure to pump the water up the hill. In the absence of that, we have to utilize the reservoir that we have up Dugo. The advantage that reservoir has is that it's elevated. So we pump water into the reservoir, which can hold 1 million gallons of water at a time. We release the water and the water flows down by gravity, so that you don't need any other thing but just to open the valve. And that reservoir was down for 4 to 5 years, just for $41,000. We have repaired the reservoir, and we will begin testing it in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We are in the discussion. Of course, that addresses the question of the electricity problem. Now, the LEC is doing power shedding, and the LWSC as a public utility was not considered. So what we did was to have a discussion and negotiation with them to give us some stable times through the week. So if you're giving a full hour supply, tell us when you're giving it. Don't just do it randomly, so that we can do our schedule to fit your power shedding schedule. They did that, and then we schedule our employees at the White Plains so that they work when there is power supply. So that's what we've been doing. So at every time we have power supply, it is for 8 hours or 6 hours, the technicians at White Plain work, they purify water and they recharge the lines. So like that, you won't have the the water mains completely empty. So every time you open your tap, even if the pressure is low, but you see water coming. Where are we getting money from? I said it. Water and sewer is a revenue generating entity. The water you pay for, the sewage system, people supposed to pay for them. It's not free. So the money we generate from there is the money we are using. And in line to that, somebody asked how much we generated. By my counting yesterday, from when I took over, we've been able to generate around 325,000 United States dollars since March 1, when I actually started work. Yeah, it means that we are gradually moving, we will get there. As to whether we will contribute to government revenue, no, as a matter of fact, we are asking government to help us. They put us in the budget because We inherited an entity that has a wage bill, like I said, of at least 375,000 a month, and we are not yet generating sufficiently. The chemicals we use for water treatment are very expensive. To bring them in is expensive, and then the operational costs, other operational costs, electricity and everything. So we can't yet contribute to the budget, but definitely we will begin to contribute to the budget in the next 2 years. Those who live in bypass, once we resume water supply to Central Monrovia, you will also get water supply. You'll be supplied from that reservoir. But what we are doing, we'll be in conversation with the legislature to permanently solve the issue of the electricity. We've done a feasibility study, and it will cost us around 1.5 million to $2 million to construct a dedicated line from Mount Coffee to White Plains. Once we can do that, the LEC has ensured us that they will have a full power supply restored to the water treatment plant. But we have to provide the money. I don't think I'm there. Okay. The customers that are indebted, we don't give people bills that they do not deserve. Most of the big customers, the ones that have water companies, the businesses, they are metered customers. If you don't use our water, the meter will not read that you've used water. And also, some of the businesses go with the mistaken notion that because they have boreholes in their premises, so they are not supposed to pay. Let me send this message out very, very clearly. If you are a business and you have a borehole you're extracting water from, and you are within 200 feet of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation pipe, you are to connect or we meter your borehole and you pay. So that water company, if they are not getting water directly from our pipe, that means they have a borehole and that borehole is metered. And we read a borehole, the meters only the quantity of water you use there, you pay. But you are not paying the same tariff as those that are getting water from our pipe. But the water you're using is government's property, and that property falls within the domain of the LWSC, so you are supposed to pay. Let me recognize my Deputy for Technical Services, Engineer Patrick Sandiki, who has been doing tremendously well. Thank you.
There were two questions that were asked. I'll go from the bottom. Last gentleman asked me the trust NICO have been dormant, and how can people have confidence in NICO to ensure their properties? As you know, in the past, NICO didn't have a board. And if you don't have a board to drive the corporate governance or policy of the institution, you will have problems. NICO has a board of competent insurance professionals, people that have been in the market for a long time. For example, Mr. Sando Mamadou here, he's been in the market for 45 to 50 years. He's the chairman of the board of directors of NICO. We have the likes of Samuel Minta, who ran ICA for over 40 years, so he's retired now. So for those people who have on board and statutory members, the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Finance, we are confident that there should be no worries about paying them. As a matter of fact, we've had testimonial letters from our customers that have said that the way our insurance professionals handle their case. There was a case where a gentleman had his son in the hospital. He did surgery, almost at the point of demise. Our medical insurance professional continuously called the gentleman or the family during the surgery, after surgery, pre and post surgery, to make sure that everything was okay. And as a result of that, the gentleman called me about 2 weeks ago and said, Monty, I want to meet you. We have a coffee and listen, I'm going to what word is external policy is about to expire. We'll go ahead and reissue the policy for us, and we'll add 2 additional staff. And that person and that company is a high paying premium customer. So we don't have any claims on file, 909 court, or any claims issue. We'll set our claim properly. So there's a lot of testimonies that we will be happy to share with the press if need be. Whenever we go out to make business, we all show the testimony that people are very impressed. We have the technology, MICAT, is a system that tracks the claims, so it's real time. If you go to the hospital today, while you're in the hospital, from the click of a mouse, we know exactly who or what you're treated for, and know the doctor, what medication was given to you, we'll track all our stuff. So that is, and NICO, I repeat, NICO is the only insurance company in Liberia that has that technology. No one else has that technology in Liberia. Now I can show you. So, answering your questions about the companies in NICO, you're rest assured that NICO will be able to pay claims. And then somebody asked, I think the first asked about NICO. Some other question about, I'll read the answer. The strategy we have is the fact that we're moving our offices from where we are right now to a new office in Singapore or in Homertown tells you exactly the trajectory of NICO, the shooting war. In the coming weeks, we'll have all these jingles coming up on the radio, talk a little bit more about NICO, and then we'll have our bus tour, our float tour around Monrovia and some important cities in town to show exactly the power of NICO that NICO is back on stage with others. So with that, I think that's it. Thank you.
The president of the Reporter Association. The man is the best follow-up journalist I ever seen. If you're asking me about asset declaration, you're asking me about something else. On the issue of the nationality of the envoy on sports, we contacted the presidential press secretary since she works directly with the president to seek the clarification on our behalf. She has assured me that she will seek the clarification and she will address that issue at her next press conference. So it's how you send somebody there from OK, or you can be a visiting reporter that day so you can ask her the same question what you talk about. You see, so if I say, okay, the tourist came, they didn't keep their schedule, they left before time, will you be satisfied? Because maybe there were people looking for years. This issue took place, I don't know how many weeks ago. I talked about a lot of different issues here today. And I would think some of those should have generated some of the questions. We're still worried about tourists who came and gone. So if we just said to you, yeah, the tourists came, they're supposed to stay here until 8 o'clock, they left 5 o'clock. What has that done for you? What have you achieved because of that? So you got to learn to trust people. One of the things I said is that as the Minister of Information, I'll say the truth. And even on the appointment you asking me about, if I was to do a background and they tell me, say, this is why it is, I would say, like, because I'm not here to lie. The work of a Minister of Information is not to lie. So we were involved in this process. We said the folks were coming to leave at a particular hour. The first thing that happened is that the arrival time was a little bit overboard due to boat docking arrangement and all those kind of situations. And they stepped out of the place. They went to the National Museum. They went to the Centennial Pavilion. They went to the sport park. But you, as an investigative journalist, said the only place you saw in the sport park. What kind of investigative journalist were you doing there? If you did that work properly, you would have known that they were visibly at the Centennial Pavilion. They were visibly at the National Museum. They did not go to the Echo Lodge because they didn't have the time, since their arrival time was interfered with. And you can say that to say they didn't go to the Echo Lodge, which we accept. But if you, as an investigative journalist, say they only went to Spoke Park, then we got to start investigating the investigative journalist himself. So that tourist mission was a success. Those who interacted with them know what it is. If anybody thought Liberia was so dangerous that nobody's supposed to come there, the world heard that day that 115 people from Russia, from Australia, from Austria, from China, from England were here in our country. And that's big news for us. And that people will still be trying to make a case that something else happened to the tree rather than why it was. I think we should leave that and let's move forward. We're going to have the surfing competition. We all say in the middle of the competition they abandoned the gear and they went back. Well, whatever the number of days are that competition is planned for, they will be here. And the individuals that are coming out from where? So 9 countries. They're coming to sleep here unless the tourists who came when they see the day come and sleep here. Let's help to rebrand our country. Media people should be critical. We accept that. We don't want you to be people that we use. We want you to be independent. We want you to be critical. But we don't want you to see you trying to pull down good news about your country. Leave those things with the politicians. Because we can handle the politician. We want to be your friends. Just report the truth. I got no problem with anybody who report the truth. The woman man asking the question all the time. After the next 1 month, I declare the answer now. He say the man declare the answer. Is that the truth? I will not make plan with him because he's speaking the truth. That's his job. So let us not spin positivity into negativity. I always tell people, especially for those who think that because they're not in power in the country should be in chaos. When trouble in the land, the trouble does not have R to C, seditions, UPs, ANC. If that bullet is flying, it will hit anybody. It does not have the capacity to identify which party you belong to. So when I hear people say we make this place ungovernable, if the place is ungovernable, where else will you stand? You fly small in heaven and leave us here to face the situation that your situation will bring you. And after that, then you come back. If I'm not there, then the whole country will come down. But then when I listened to the U.S. Foreign Minister, and he said he has evidences of text messages that he has received from people. That they will make sure the country leave failed so that they can prove that he was working in the past and he can't work now. You gotta be somebody from another planet to be having that kind of mindset about your country. When they make changes at government ministry, they say that witch hunt. An ordinary person without a political appointment was just dismissed in one entity for nothing. They did nothing. And then sedition sending the person text message. What did it say? Ingratitude pays. If I dismiss somebody from the Ministry of Information, there's no public pronouncement about that. Only the person knows. And the first message the person gets comes from one opposition figure and say, ingratitude pays. How did they get that information that this person sanctioned that? Is there a situation where the head of that entity, rather than being answerable to the presidential power that exists, is taking instruction from the former ruling party. And when they conduct themselves in those manners and actions are taken, then people come and cry witch hunt. There's one executive presidency. That person appointed you. If you're attempting to be taking instruction from people who have left power, you're creating a situation for yourself. This country will work. And as we said in our messaging, in our mantra, the mission is a rescue mission. You call your mission proper mission. So you made by the Pope. We say we want to rescue. And no amount of distraction from you will change course. And I always tell people the end will justify the beginning. You can do what the Bible says in red and say the beginning. You can only judge the work of this regime when it ends. We can sit here and say the CDC failed because the time they had was exhausting. After 6 years, you can now raise the argument about failure or success. But because we know exactly where we are headed, because we know what the country needs, we cannot afford to fail. We will not fail. And I didn't come here to fail. And you are people who can bear testimony to the fact that the steps that we are taking are clear indication that I didn't come here to fail. And good enough, I'm one of the cabinet ministers because of the role I play as Minister of Information. I see the president at will. And when I see the president, I don't go there to talk about personal things. When I know something is wrong in the sector, I tell the president. I also ambitious that there's a problem here, we have to pay attention. That's how presidents can succeed. I'm told during the last 6 years, if you attempted to talk like that to the president, you will not see him again. So close the door on you. This is different. At the end of the day, all of you, there may be challenges because even in heaven, that problem there. So I'm not trying to suggest to you that we're going to turn this place into heaven, that this place is going to be problem free. But I just say we have a mindset, we have a plan, we have a mission that we cannot afford to fail about. And so those who think that because they are no longer here, they can do. Imagine, just think about it a bit, and we got to face Monitin squarely. We fought a war in this country. It affected all of us. 2 counties were at the center of it. Bringing them together in sport was a good thing. It aids the reconciliation process. The others saw it as something that could penetrate to cause chaos, to cause discourse. That is okay for them. That should not be okay to any of you. And for the young people who normally allow people to use them, don't allow people to use you. If the chaos was expanding to the fact that the police had to use some extraordinary force, those who are pushing recently now in their cubicle, safe, sound. Whatever you suffer, you will live with the peace. So don't allow people to use you. And we remind those people every day who could not allow auditors to do their work, for which the families of Gifty, Abbott, Paten, and the rest of them cannot see them anymore, cannot be the ones throwing threats to the Auditor General because the President said audit the LTA. The folks at the LTA did the right thing. They felt aggrieved, they went to court. The President has taken another action based on his understanding of what the Supreme Court said. If you still believe it's in breach of any law or a violation of any right belonging to you, use the same court. Not try to tell Auditor General not to audit or not to take instruction from Waka. And from whence your authority comes. To say to a constitutionally appointed official, don't do what the President asks you to do. You want chaos, you will not get it. Thank you. Daniel.
Thank you to our distinguished Minister Dereleme Pia, for that brilliant conclusion. We, on behalf of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, like to appreciate our two distinguished guests for today, Mr. Mohammed Ali and Mr. Natu Chapa from the LWSC and the National Insurance Company of Liberia, respectively. The country is beginning to regain a place amongst the Committee of Nations. Over the last 6 years, the name NACO was mentioned one time. That was when the former presidential press secretary fell in problem. Apparently, the president didn't want to see him around here again, saying to NACO. And that was the end. The LWSC, under the past administration, was no different from a corruption bonanza. One corruption scandal after the other. People were suspended, audited, no audit reports, they were reinstated, and they were talking about millions of dollars unaccounted for. The other day, the fellow who was vindicated by the LWSC came here. The deputy who raised the alarm, the whistleblower. Interestingly, he was suspended by the past government for accusing Mr. Simon of corruption. President Weah reinstated Dwana Simon, and then this guy who blew the whistle remained perpetually suspended until the case the presidency goodbye. The memories are still fresh. Why not allow yourself to nurse your injury, but you all want to place making noise? But we have insisted we will focus on the governance issue, and nobody going to distract us. This country, 4 months ago, was a pariah state, a state that became stigmatized. The presidency was literally sanctioned by the most powerful nations on earth. Today, they are trooping back to Liberia to make business if they didn't come to express interest in 500 million investment in the industrial park. HPX was coming to open a new corridor and build a port, and things are happening. Tourists are now coming to Liberia. People are, look, this country has regained a place among the Committee of Nations. And those who plunged this first republic on the continent of Africa into backwardness cannot be the one raising the chorus today. We will constantly bring on this platform officials of government that are making tremendous progress in their respective capacities. The president movement, the deliverable, as indicated by the minister, is not the end to the regime. It's a pace setter. What the government will begin to do over the next 6 years is going to roll out through the president 100-day deliverable. For the first time in many years, moving equipment deployed on major road corridors, just to give our people accessibility to move freely. You know, you sit in your little corner, you want to tear down the country. We wouldn't allow this to happen. We wouldn't dance to your rhythm. We have a tax to perform, and we are not focusing on the next election. We are focusing on the governance aspect. When we succeed, the Liberian people will make that determination. So we can't help but to again thank all of you. Next Thursday or this Thursday, we're going to be here again, making frantic efforts to bring on board people who are helping the president to accomplish his agenda. So we look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday. Thank you very much.
Just before you leave, one minute. We always have to be respectful. I'm honored by the presence of a veteran from the foreign ministry sector. You all know Emmett Kennedy, one-time chief of protocol. Sir, thank you for passing by. We are very honored with your presence. And I also like to recognize a brother, a friend, a rescuer, He's visiting from the United States, Mr. Timothy Ba, who patiently sat throughout the press conference. He wanted to have his own experience as a resident of the United States of America. I'm sure he listened to you, he watched you, he has his own impression about the Liberian media. He will go with his own impression about the team at the Ministry of Information team. It was a pleasure having you, brother. Let us see you. Are you staying in America? Yeah, and by the way, Timothy is the husband to the elder sister, right? The younger sister of the Senate Pro Tem. She's called Ose Kangaba. That's her husband. I interacted with them while there in the States, and it was good that he could stop by to see what we're doing here. I just got word from the two managing directors, that they're not going to allow my press crew to just walk away like that. So, good news.
So, folks, that was the voice of the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Jeremy Pia. So, you listen to the Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Company, Honorable Mohammed Ali, and also in attendance is Honorable Notu Jaba, Managing Director of the National Insurance Company of Liberia. Well, folks, wherever you join us from, we say thank you so much for listening to this MICAT broadcast on ELBC 99.9 FM and as well on LNTV Liberia Live. Well, this is how little quarter or day. Do have yourself a pleasant time wherever you join us from.